Sir, are you sleeping on the job while there's a hilichurl right next to you? Are all guards in Teyvat as bad as you? Guards. Every region has its own unique set of them. They ensure the safety of their region's inhabitants. But not all guards in Teyvat are created equal. Some are great, others not so much. And I think they're due for an inspection. So come and join me as we go around and review their performance. And our first stop is the nation of wind and freedom, Mondstadt. So we've got the two front gate guards here. Why hello there, Swan. Ah, I see a by the books guy. That's not a bad thing. Ah, but lacks initiative, okay. How about you? Ah, and a talker. And it looks like you've already got in trouble for this before. That definitely means I'm gonna need to deduct marks for you here. But overall, they don't seem like bad guards. You just need to work on your initiative, and you are not talking so much and focusing on the job more. Great, precise, to the point. That's what I like to see. Over here though, looking awfully suspicious, Bruce. A sweeping survey, Yeah, why do I find that hard to believe? We've got a slacker over here. Yeah, I'm not sure that's how it works. You're a guard. This is a matter of people's safety. So I'm sorry, Bruce, but we're gonna have to write you up for this. Just because you're in the City of Freedom does not mean you're free to slack on the job. Okay, we've got a guard that loves their job, always puts the citizens first, and I see you've got a lot of things under your belt already. Excuse me? Of course it's Nimrod. Nothing bad to say about this guy. And how about you, ma'am? A logistics guard. I'm not sure, does this count? Does this count as a guard? I mean, she's in uniform. I'll definitely have to have a longer word with you later, because I definitely think you could be delegating your guards a bit better. Moving on. Well, that's a good first impression. The gates that no one uses are always the most unsuspecting. You should know better than that. It doesn't matter where you're placed. Overall, I'm not too impressed with this guy. Called guy. Not super into his job either. Yeah, that's going down on the notepad. Ah, straight to the point. Plenty of information to give away too. Nothing wrong here. How about you? Also straight to the point. Okay, seems like a good guard, but probably needs a different posting. Aside from that though, good. Yep, you look like you're doing a good job too. Carry on. Now for the headquarters. Ah, now this is a guy with good judgment skills. That's what I like to see. Good first impressions from the HQ itself. These two guards seem to be doing a perfectly fine job here too. Now for the guards outside of the city. And the first guard we'll be inspecting is right here. I like your initiative, good sir. Helping protect the merchants. That is what I like to see. This is definitely an area that needs it too. Hopefully Jean will listen to this, because this is important. And now that is a good night. Now, what are you doing out here? You were concerned for their safety, Mac, yet you still haven't escorted them back to the city. I'm disappointed. And just look how dangerous this area is. Their safety is of the utmost importance, okay? No, gotta mark you down for that. Oh, this guy. So you belong to an elite squadron, and yet you've abandoned your position, and you're loitering outside in the wilderness. Not a good look, my guy. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to report this to Jean. And I'm deducting even more points just because you're horrible to Glory, and I've had to do your commission too many times and you suck. Following orders to the T, I see. Oh, and it looks like you've already done a lot of good for this area. You've saved a lot of people's lives, sir. Good for you. I have to say, I do find it quite concerning that Springvale and Dawn Winery have absolutely no guards patrolling, and Mondstadt has almost no resources as of now thanks to the expedition. Overall, Mondstadt's guards are okay. While there's a few outstanding guards, a majority of them are perhaps a bit too relaxed. That would be my main point of improvement for them, and to also bolster their defenses outside of the main city. And the next region on our list is liyue. Hopefully their guards prove to be a bit more serious about their jobs. Oh, I won't touch on this guy too much because we've already had a good look at him, and well, need I say more? Can't do his job and is extremely rude. That is going straight down on the report. Hello. I mean, I suppose you have a point, but shouldn't you judge everyone equally? Yeah, this is a major thoroughfare. That's exactly why I'm saying that. But you seem quite knowledgeable and experienced in your position, so if you just step up the game a bit more, I would say you're doing pretty good. Guard inspector here. How's it going? Okay, so we've got one guard that seems to be doing alright, and the other can only talk by copying. So we've got a short-sighted guard that can barely see in the watchtower. Okay, I'm gonna have to recommend that you get moved. Got another slacker, I see. A slacker that prefers to do fortune telling over guarding the safety of its people. Are you aware that your friend over there isn't doing his job? Okay, at least you seem to be doing a good job, sir. Yeah, why is your comrade slacking off? Not sure what to make of that. He's good at judging people, but are you sure he's not just faking it? At least you're doing your job well, inspecting everyone that passes through. As for the other guy, good judgment, but needs to stop with the slacking off. Ah, Liyue Harbor, the richest city in all of Teyvat. Okay, good job. Making sure that citizens are aware that they can come to you. I'm not a trader, I'm an inspector. These two seem to be doing a great job too. First line of defense always needs to be ready, aware and alert, and they've got it all. Oh no. Yeah, unfortunately sir, I'm gonna have to reveal to you I'm an inspector and I can't stand for this kind of corruption, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to write you up for that. Free to chat while the sergeant's not here. Oh, I feel like we've got a serial slacker here too. A guard that's proud of his job. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Jingsa village is in dire need of some guards. But you're doing a good job. I mean, apart from the fact that the guy's hungry, I suppose he's doing his job. They also don't want a guard working on an empty stomach. Oh boy, what do we have here? Another slacker at hard work just now, were you? I've been watching you for quite a while and you have not moved from that spot. I'm not sure about that one. Taking breaks is fine, but you've been taking a break for a very long time. And now you're trying to bribe me with some radish balls? Oh. No. Straight to the point. Ensuring their safety and well-being is your top priority? That's good to hear. Carry on with the good work. Oh, we've got an important guard here. I mean, that is good to hear, but your guards should always be paying attention. A lot of them seem to be slacking on the job. Patrolling properly, good initiative, and you've submitted multiple reports. Don't worry, I'll have a word with the Chising myself. So you've lost your polearm. That seems very irresponsible for a soldier. Yeah, how do you manage to lose your weapon like that? So we've got a very forgetful guard, and all he's doing all day long is looking around for his polearm rather than guard the safety of the people. We've also got some guards on the other side of the harbour, so let's go check them out real quick. I have a question here though. How is there only one person guarding the biggest mine in all of Liyue that must also be super important to its economy overall? Oh my, that is a lot of guards. Let's get a head count going, just to see how many guards the Golden House has. I mean, I'm not sure about the motives of this guard. He seems more interested in the money than the protection itself. How about you? Okay, a skilled guard, very attentive, motivated. You know what, I have to say, it's good to see the closer you get to the Golden House, the more straight to the point the guards are. It's great that you're being responsible and staying to your posts and all, but is anyone gonna do anything about that? You're not allowing entry for just anyone. That's good to see. But what if I just sneak past? Oh, they didn't stop me though. That's not good. We've got a few guards in the chasm too. First guard seems just fine. This guard, however, seems more interested in becoming a bard than actually guarding the place. Thinks he's a bard. With the addition of Chenyu Vale, we've got a few more guards to review on that front. Yes, I agree. Watchtowers are a really important defense. This guy really knows his stuff. I spoke too soon. So, overall, knows his stuff, serious about his job, but bit of a yapper. Knowledgeable, skilled in combat, years of experience by the looks of it. Cons? None. How is liyue looking? Better than Mondstadt at the very least. I suppose for the richest nation, they can afford to have a lot more guards. And more out in the wilderness along super busy routes is also really good planning. My main improvement here would be, again, for better delegation outside of the harbour. Oh, and this guy. Let's head to Inazuma next. Now, I'll cut them a bit of slack, what with the whole their numbers are probably quite low, and that's certainly a good impression right off the bat. Loads of guards right at the docks. Very heavily guarded. How about this guy? Seems to be more interested in watching a lady over doing his job and watching out for trouble. That's gonna go down on the list. You know what? I like your initiative, sir. That's really good posting to be at. Making sure that no undesirables can get free along the beach either. Good spot. Now yours is a very important posting. guarding the main road from Rito Island to the city. That's a bit concerning. You don't actually know what counts as contraband, but you seem very enthusiastic about your job. Maybe just brush up on your knowledge. You'd think border control would be a bit more knowledgeable on what they're looking for though. And we've got another guard musing over his love rather than do his job. Disappointing to see from the Kanjo Commission. You look like a serious guard. Oh, you're the squad leader as well. I'm not surprised then. I'm very impressed with your attitude. Though you did take your eyes off her to look at me. Well, that's certainly a good first impression. Rito Island seems very heavily guarded, as it should be for the main port of call. Wow, protect them with your life? Though all I can do now is be a good guard. Impressive. Keep it up. You're pretty relaxed. Yeah, you really shouldn't be letting your guard down, especially not in front of an inspector. Yep, you've been caught. Now, what I also find interesting is that the Kamisato estate seems to have the least amount of guards compared to the other commissions. I've counted 4 in total on the grounds, but the others have way more. It's a bit concerning though, because they are out in the middle of nowhere too. But it's an interesting piece of storytelling. Good to hear that you're interested in the safety of this place. Always keeping an eye on everything, that's good. This guard has a good attitude. The only thing is that there are a load of treasure hoarders literally right over there. So I'm gonna have to deduct points for that. That does not make the main road to this island safe for your average citizen. Here we have what looks to be the first guard of the main city. And first impressions are everything. Security checks straight away, no fuss about it. What if I were to just run away though? Will he stop me is the question. Oh no, I'm getting away. A perfect law abider. Next guard. You have a fellow guard that was meant to be on guard with you, and he always abandons his post. Yeah, that's definitely something you need to report. You're doing the work of 2 people, which is honestly quite impressive. I'll have a word with your superiors myself and give you a recommendation. You have to patrol this whole area? There is no way that's true. Oh my god, there really is only 1 guard patrolling this whole area. That is so bad. I need to have a word with the commission after this. Well, that's great. At least we've got guards at the prison. It sounds like the guards aren't very good at handling multiple reports per day. Is that just because there's not enough of you, perhaps? Let's go see. Well, now it all makes sense. They're all up here. I don't think you should let people pass just because they don't look suspicious, if they're not meant to be here. See, he just said, no outsiders allowed on the drill grounds. Oh, so they're a separate division from the rest of the guards? Still, it seems like there's almost no guards outside of the Raiden's residence. I find that very disappointing. So all the guards here are to protect the people from the Raiden Shogun. I'm not sure about that one when they could be guarding a lot of other areas that desperately need it. Next, we have the rest of the guards outside of the city, only interested in the job, but also making sure that travelers are safe and don't go where they shouldn't be. Good job. Hi, you're a guard, right? Could you like maybe help? You know, you're guarding, right? You're meant to be watching? No? There's some guys right down there that are trying to kill me. No? You're a guard, you're meant to want peace and keep the peace. Well, I'm an inspector, and I'm gonna have to report this to Kokomi herself. Look at them! They're right there. Are you just gonna stand there? Does not know how to guard. Next, we headed over to Watatsumi Island to conduct an inspection there too. Oh wow, very rigorous. A dutiful soldier, concerned for his comrades' safety, carrying out important inspections. We've got another slacker. You're going on the bad guard list. All this guard seems to want to do is praise Goro. Right, I'll probably put this guard down as non-applicable for now, considering he's wounded, so can't actually currently do his job. Hopefully you get better. Well, we've got a guy that is afraid of heights and bridges, guarding a very important road to a sacred shrine. I'm not sure relaxing in nature is training, but I mean, as long as you're still keeping an eye on everything, I suppose. And now for the docks. A very crucial place that needs a lot of guarding, an important sea route, and it looks like they picked the right guy for the job too. Inazuma, the land of eternity. Makes sense then that the Raiden Shogun's guards are quite serious and respectful, if a bit unobservant and lacking in knowledge. Watatsumi Island, on the other hand, seems like it's polar opposite in attitude. Though in comparison to Liyue, the main city needs way more guards for its people. Now firstly, I have to say, Sumeru is painfully lacking on the safety front as a whole, and I'm also kind of stumped, get it, since they don't really have an official guard, so I'll just judge the Eremites that do seem like they're assigned as actual guards. Not a great first impression either. This is the first guard you see when going into the city. A super important role, yet we've got one that is wounded and struggles to do simple jobs. Not a good look. And the next guy apparently has a brother that is a guard but also a thief. You'll pay the price if you let your guard down around people in uniform. What kind of impression is Sumeru trying to give here? Is this the thief? So we've got a wounded guard at the entrance, a corrupt thief guard, and his brother who won't do anything about it. Wow, Sumeru. The next guard doesn't really have much of anything to say, but she seems to be patrolling very well, so got someone doing their job at least. And then we've got a brother and sister, one who is only interested in apparently me getting him a sword, and a sister who isn't even guarding properly or watching the ships as she should be. This is an inspector's worst nightmare. Oh, thievery in Port Ormos is even worse apparently. And we've got a guard sleeping on the job yet again. Classic. Just because you're not being watched doesn't mean you should be sleeping on the job. This is people's safety. Oh my god. Well, the people patrolling seem to be doing their job good, so that's something. And now the headquarters. Though this seems to be more of a break area, so I'll say the guards here in this bit are non-applicable. As for the man in charge, most tasks are assigned by the academia. And civilians, even if you're in Port Ormos, Eremite guards might not have good intentions. I'm sorry, but Sumeru is just the most unsafe, defenseless region ever. These two guards seem to be doing a good job at least. And they're knowledgeable of the area and friendly. Excuse me, are you on a break or are you just slacking off? Not taking jobs seriously. Well, at least there seem to be a few more guards around the city in general compared to Inazuma. But a lot of them again seem to congregate around the academia. It was now time for Port Ormos. Not good at small talk, but that's a good way of thinking because it can easily distract you. And again with this warning of not to trust people in Eremite uniform. You guys are meant to be the guards, guarding this place and keeping it safe. If Port Ormos is meant to be as dangerous as everyone seems to say it is too, where are all the guards? There's almost none. Oh, finally, found some. And the first thing we see is someone getting reprimanded for not doing their job properly. That's great. Are you at least doing your job? Only 2 guards here for what seems to be a very important research facility. If you've got a lot of important research stored here, I'd think you'd need more guards. I'm going to assume you're on a break, because otherwise you definitely should not be drinking on the job. So I'll put you down as non-applicable. Good observation skills. Not too talkative while on the job. Can't find any cons here. Well, Sumeru's guard situation was unsurprising. For a region that doesn't have an official guard and is run by a university, of all things, that hires mercenaries rather than invest in an actual safety department, Sumeru needs to take a really close look at his priorities. Fontaine seems to have a bit of a robot malfunction problem as of late, a blatant disregard by the Institute for the people's safety. I'm of the stance that they're more of a danger than a help, given the state of Fontaine's countryside outside of the city, of which nothing has been done about. First guard of the region. Good attitude, reliable, but most of the work is done by the mechs apparently. Still, I'm impressed. It's a good first impression as well. Okay, hold on. Only 2 guards for a very big and busy harbour. Knowledgeable, patrolling back and forth, hasn't left her post at all. I like the strategies that they have in place for the guards in Fontaine. They realised that putting a guard that isn't interested in operas is a very good thing to do, as he's more likely to be paying attention to the safety of the people rather than the performance. That is good judgment on part of the guards. A good rule follower here. How about you? Oh. Wow, now this is the best guard I've ever seen. I see, so a lot of them work in pairs alongside the mechs. More of an engineer than an actual guard. That certainly won't backfire on you at some point, right? How do I even review this guard? A newbie? I like your enthusiasm. And you seem to be observant and interested in what's going on around you. Is this guy really trying to get a date while he's on the clock? Wait, that's it? I expected Fontaine to be a lot better than this, but there's quite an underwhelming amount of guards. And even at Lumidus Harbour, I counted 4 guards in total, and not even any mechs for this one, which is even more surprising considering this is meant to be the main and very large harbour where a lot of trade goes through. Fontaine is the nation that I thought would be a lot more impressive than it actually turned out to be. No guards in the main section of the city itself, or at very key points of the region, like the harbour and bus routes. What exactly would they do if their over-reliance on the mechs backfires? That remains to be seen. As an added bonus, I also wanted to go over some other cool differences between the guards of each nation. The salutes, for example, fit the nation they're representing. Mondstadt's one is serious, but with an air of freedom? Liyue's is serious, hand-on weapon. Inazuma's comes off as very respectful. Sumeru's is... and Fontaine's is quite similar to Mondstadt's, but more rigid. The weapons are where we see the similarities between Liyue and Inazuma, both donning the spear. Mondstadt with the classic fantasy sword, Sumeru with a badass scimitar, and Fontaine with a baton, even though they have guns. And finally, we're at the end of our guard performance review. In terms of what nation I was most impressed with, it would have to be Liyue.
Boats are made for transferring commodities back and forth, and those that come across liyue tend to stay a while, so it is where many things come to settle.